faced with lawsuits concerning their work. This is in accordance to a deal signed on June 25th between Rwanda Media Commission and the Legal Aid Forum. Our correspondent from Kigali, Rwanda, Diana Iriza, has more details.
So besides legal representation, the Legal Aid Forum signed this deal with the Rwanda Media Commission to support the Rwanda Media Commission in so many other ways, including self-regulation mechanism and complaint handling mechanism to enhance justice here in Rwanda. So we are now joined by the Executive Director, Mr. Andrews Kananga, to briefly talk to us on what this whole deal signed is all about. Thank you so much, sir, for having this interview with us.
Thank you very much, TV47, for being here.
Yes, so can you briefly tell us, are journalists in Rwanda getting into legal issues lately? Is that the reason as to why this deal is being signed?
Absolutely, and it's not of late. Obviously, during COVID-19, when the lockdown started, we saw the surging of more cases. But even previously, we've had a lot of journalists who were arrested for a number of reasons. The law enforcement, they will tell you they contravened some provisions of the law, which could be true. But actually what prompted us to have that partnership with RMC is the long-term relationship we've had with them, because they've been sending cases of journalists here. So currently we have about 7 cases that we're handling that were referred to us by individual journalists, but also RMC itself. So we decided, we thought this is a problem, because as frontline defenders, that's how we consider journalists. We needed to do something about their legal protection. They're protected by international law. Our own laws protected them, but we think this is really a very important profession that our work as a legal aid organization would also be geared towards assisting them, especially in advising them. We'll not be doing litigation only, but we also have a package for them, legal advisory services for investigative journalists who want to cover stories, more sensitive stories, and then they could come to us. They could approach our lawyers to look into the law. What happens if I put out this article? Is it contravening the Constitution or other laws? That's one package. But the other package, in case we have a journalist who is arrested doing his work, we are very much linking the legal assistance we are giving to their profession, not as individual Rwandans or anyone working in Rwanda, but we want to look at them within the lens of them working, and they need to be legally protected, because media, as you agree with me, is an important sector that most of us rely on to get information. So we thought this is really very important. We are bringing them in addition to other services we provide to different groups, refugees, generally vulnerable Rwandans. So we thought it's really a group, it's a sector we should also be trying to help. We have seen this as an issue as the Legal Aid Forum, and that's why we're investing. We are setting up this special legal support for journalists. We are also working with other institutions. We are working with the UNESCO, we are working with the European Union to set up this fund to promote freedom of expression, but also access to information rights by journalists. So it's really very important that we help journalists, and it's something we've started working on way back in 2015, and finally we are glad that we have secured some funding to operationalize what we are doing. We know the environment within which journalists are working in. Something very important has also come to attention. Although most of the time they are accused of not abiding by the law, we also have the other side of other stakeholders who don't understand the work of journalists as being important to our society. So we're engaging different stakeholders. We're engaging the investigators, we're engaging the whole criminal justice chain, including courts. So among other things that we'll be doing is also taking the awareness also to the judiciary for them to know how do they handle cases involving journalists. Obviously, we know they have good knowledge of law, but it's an emerging sector in Rwanda, pretty the kind of journalism we want to see compared to what we used to have is really they must be very professional. Sometimes they are caught up in minor issues that we think if we had our legal advice, if we had trainings offered to them, if we had this kind of bringing them together and trying to identify some of the issues, especially those they always collide with. Yeah.
And still in Rwanda, activists